I would like to introduce to you our guest. Actually, first and foremost, who I am. I'm Aaron Sparks. I'm the CEO of Site Strategics as well as Edge Media Studios. And to my right, I have Brittany Simpson, who is the onboarding and outreach manager of Site Strategics. Are you a
Hi.
manager or a specialist?
Manager.
You're a manager? You sure? But are you special?
Are you downgrading?
Well, is it specialist up or down from manager?
It's up.
Is it? Okay. Well, all right. Very good. Over there is Kendrea Williams, CEO of PitchFeast. How are we doing?
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome. Well, thanks for joining us today. What is a manager below or above specialist?
Below a specialist.
All right.
You
all right.
think?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Managers kind of manage people.
Yeah.
The specialist owns the talent.
Oh, look at that.
And you feel that I should.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. She's a specialist.
Speaking of specialists, we hear that you're up to some pretty special things in the city. See how I did that?
Very good.
Absolutely.
Very good play on
Love that
words. I like it.
transition.
So you want to tell us a little bit about PitchFeast?
All right. So PitchFeast is a nonprofit organization. We consider ourselves a community crowdfunding event. And so we host dinners at local spaces. We invite people to come out and have dinner. And on the flip side, they get to hear the ideas of entrepreneurs who are pitching in PitchFeast. The pitchers get to pitch. The audience chooses who had the best pitch. And then that individual gets 75% of what we collected at the door that night, in addition to some business services to help get him or her through their first year.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, that's a cool program
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Thank you.
Your focus is really around supporting micro enterprise and under-resourced entrepreneurs. So you're big on helping the little guy, right?
That absolutely.
Tell us about that.
I am big on just looking at the non-traditional businesses. So these are businesses that are kind of heavily skilled. So it might be your local landscaper, your bakery, clothing designer. Just somebody who has a non-traditional business and really has very low resources to get started. So we really focus on helping those groups kind of not only move from being a sole proprietor to an LLC or a corporation, but we really want them to kind of participate in the business environment in Indianapolis. And so just being, having their structure set up correctly, having the appropriate, team members and whatnot. So, we really do focus on the underdog, helping them get the resources they need so they can kind of keep going past that first year.
So part of your environment is also introducing those organizations to other resources, other individuals, other companies that are wanting to give back and provide that type of bootstrapping that organizations or some companies need. And I hear this over and over. That's resonating inside of Indianapolis. There's so many groups. I should say so many. I'm hearing about groups like this that are really wanting to mentor new companies and help get things straight. Where, the entrepreneur that's passionate about what they do, it may be making cakes, it may be landscaping, but they don't know the spectrum of things that they got to pay attention to run a business, right? Let alone accounting.
Absolutely, or even getting a loan for that business.
Right.
That business may not be viewed as something that is a high growth entity. And so the banks are probably not going to want to give loans on that type of business.
Right.
So for the most part, it is a lot of seed funding and bootstrapping that happens with small businesses like micro enterprises.
Oh, that is very cool. Very cool. Define. I want to get around this micro enterprise concept and share with our audience what that really means.
Micro enterprises are just probably 1 or 2 man operations. They may not have a desire to grow. They might just like having their little cake shop with their family working in it.
Sure.
And they're not looking to get another location. They may be okay with making under $100,000 a year. It's really
So it could be like a side hustle kind of thing.
it's kind of like a side hustle, but then again, it's kind of it's an income for them. So they're not looking to be a business owner; they're just looking to find income.
Sure.
So micro enterprises, you normally find them as 1 or 2 man operations, and they may be operating as a sole proprietor.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, that fits right into the entrepreneurial fabric of Indianapolis, and I harken back to Launch Fishers and the launch community, the tech point community. They're wanting to give back
Yes.
regularly and foster and I keep on using bootstrap, but you're absolutely right. Giving resources where they're needed. Can you expand on why this is such a rich resource for entrepreneurs in Indy? Your insight into this.
Interesting enough, so when we first started PitchFeast, of course, we don't give thousands of dollars at PitchFeast. We give a couple $100s, and it's just enough to encourage them to take the next step. But our first couple years of doing PitchFeast, we realized that a lot of that money was just going to file their LLC
Right.
with the Secretary of State. And so in that aspect, we were helping the business community in terms of legitimizing those businesses. And
Got
they
it.
needed to be legitimized because in Indiana, you can't get a bank account for a business if you're not an LLC, right?
Oh, I don't
Period.
think I knew that.
Yes, so you have to be an LLC to get
Minimum of an LLC, right?
well, you have to have some type of filed registration.
Yep.
You can't be a sole proprietor.
Right.
You can have a business name, but you can't cash a check in that business name if you're not filed with the city or the state. So it's just little things like that that could really deter somebody out of the process, you know what I
Right.
mean? And so we wanted to try to fill that gap where, okay, something as small as you're not filed with the state, let's help you get filed with the state. And now you can go get a business, and now you can bring in checks. People can write you checks. People see that you are legitimate. You know, so it's those little gaps that we were trying to fill to help people go to the next level.
Very good. I love it.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Something we've been focusing on a lot as we have entrepreneurs on the show and small companies. What do you think it is about the Indianapolis community that is seeming to spur all this new innovation and all these new businesses? And what about Indianapolis do you think is really bringing that to the forefront?
Sure. So for one, we are accessible to 4 different states in like a 4-hour period.
Yep.
That's a plus. It is very inexpensive to start a business here. And so like if you go to Illinois, go across the line, you're looking at about a $600 registration fee opposed to $90 here. So the fact that it does not cost a lot of money to start a business here is very attractive.
Yeah.
And it reduces the barrier of entry because now more people can pay $90 opposed to having to pay $600.
Huh, that's amazing.
So we have a really good. I have to say that our licensing fees, they're very affordable for people who are trying to start a business.
And on top of that, just operationally, you just don't see not only the license the startup, but there's just not a substantial amount to keep things on. I mean, at the same time, you have to have your regular resources and accounting and what have you. But it's very supportive of fostering new business, right?
Absolutely. And you know, the one thing, so we know that there are just certain areas that businesses need help in. If they don't have help in those areas, they're going to fail. And so the good thing is in Indianapolis, you can see the groups that are popping up. They are trying to address those areas. So you might have a group of attorneys that are working with small businesses with their structure. You might have a digital marketing agency such as this that brings in PitchFeast, who has very low resources and couldn't afford this, right?
Exactly.
You have like business ownership initiative and startup ladies who are connecting, women who are trying to start their business with high impact mentors. So it seems like the groups that are here, they are all focusing on an area of development that a business needs. And so I enjoy it. I appreciate that.
Now you host workshops. Your workshops are another opportunity for entrepreneurs to actually get engaged with one another and with the resources that you represent. Can you tell us a little bit about those workshops as well?
So right now, one of the workshops we offer is just a how to pitch workshop, and we just go in, and talk to them about. We actually use the business model canvas and kind of go over those 9 functions of the business model canvas.
You like that one, huh?
I do. It's awesome.
That's the cool one. And it's just trying to get them to think about when they're putting their business together, the valuable things they need to focus on. You know what I'm saying? So who are your key partners? What is your value proposition? Longer the days of writing a big 30-page business plan. So we kind of focus on helping individuals not only pitch that idea, but structure it to where it's understandable to them and the person they're pitching it to.
Kind of like elevator pitches, sort of.
Pretty much.
Okay, that's awesome. That's
But
so important.
But the business model it gets into an education for that business on the operational
Absolutely.
needs in a life cycle concept of
Absolutely.
a business, and so many writing business plans. That entrepreneur gets so removed from the practical and the
And the
pragmatic
why.
things that
Yep.
you need to actually engage on, and that's why that model is so effective, because it kind of breaks those barriers of understanding.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. Well, how about you give a shout out to some of your partners
All right.
at PitchFeast?
Well, let me give a shout out definitely to the Speakeasy. They were just tremendous supporters for us since we began. Jeremy at Nameless Catering, like every time I see him, I have to give him a hug because he provides our food.
He is all over the
I know.
place.
It is crazy.
Let me
where
tell
it
you,
is.
It's like he's taking over the city.
He is like literally taking over Launch Nameless, right? There's Launch Fishers, Launch Indy, and then Launch Nameless. But the interesting thing, so Jeremy, he's somebody who is, watching him is inspirational because he was another entrepreneur, started off with very low resources and was able to grow that business through relationships and then service to others. So, I mean, he's another model of under-resourced entrepreneur or business who was able to grow, not because he had the financial resources, but he was able to connect with the community and grow that way. So, yeah. So, Nameless Catering, I love you, and I hope to have you for 2018. Wink, wink.
Do it, Jeremy.
I know,
But
right?
I mean, the tip of the hat to Nameless. They give away so much.
Absolutely.
Well,
and-
they're all over the
know.
literally all over the place.
Absolutely.
But I mean, whenever there's an event that is a get-together event, they're not looking for that catering fee.
Yeah.
On a regular basis. I mean, not saying that you're giving away stuff, Jeremy. That's not the point. But the point is that you're giving back, and you're helping where there's groups of individuals, and and food and bacon.
He says.
I did.
Freudian slip.
Hi there.
Bacon.
But breaking bread is part of that social fabric.
Yep.
And be able to have that and be able to support these type of meetups, and he's plugged in. He really is.
He is. So I have to say thank you to him, Launch Fishers, John out there. He has offered us space there. Mike Head, he was an attorney here, very good at helping the business kind of make sure that they're structured right. So yeah. One more, I'm sorry. Jason with Centric of Indiana, or Centric Indy.
We love Jason.
We love Jawbrain. That's what I call him, Jawbrain. That's his email.
Shout out Jason Williams.
Great guy. Very been a supporter since day one. So yeah, I could not have done like 10% of what I've done without the support I have. Because once PitchFeast is over, then it's the other partners that come in and kind of rally around that entrepreneur. And so if it wasn't for the partners, PitchFeast would not be what it is now.
Speaking of bacon, go with me.
All right.
You're in. I know you're in.
I'm already there.
Can you tell us about Kevin Bacon and his association with this organization?
How cool
Because it's
that was.
pretty cool.
I know, right? And you know what? This year, I actually was like, I need to post this on my social media. Like,
Yes,
I need
you
to
do.
let people know that I was with Kevin Bacon. But it was so interesting, and it really speaks to the power of social media. I was at a conference, and I was at a social media conference, and there was a speaker, and she was talking about this organization that if you tweet to them, they'll give you some either publicity or they may have a celebrity come to your event, right? As skeptical as I was, I tweeted during this conference like, hey, have you heard about PitchFeast? And I sent a
Very good.
video. Of course, he hadn't heard about PitchFeast. Why would he know about PitchFeast, right? But about 10 minutes later, I got a direct message from one of his people. And they was like, wow, this looks really cool. Tell us more. And I was like, okay. So it ended up he was going to be here in August because he was performing with the Bacon Brothers Band at the State Fairground.
Okay.
And so I was not having a PitchFeast event for him to come to. So I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't have an event planned. But then I just kind of kicked him out like, but listen, we got Speakeasy here. We have these. And I started counting all these groups. I was like, surely you can meet with somebody. And so they was like, okay, well, you know what? We'll just do breakfast at the Speakeasy and we'll bring him in and he'll meet the entrepreneurs and whatnot. I'm like, okay, cool, right?
Yes.
So he comes in and, he speaks to everybody.
Did he dance?
No, he didn't.
Oh,
Dang it.
He did not dance.
Can we bring him back and
I
he'll
know,
dance?
right? Get that dance on him. Did that Footloose going?
He's done so many other things besides that movie.
Well, I tell you,
Nothing is good though.
he kind of just threw me off because I thought he was just coming to visit, and he was just like, when I talk to you guys, you're really passionate about pushing what everybody else was doing, and so how can I not contribute, a little something. And so he gave me a little love offering.
Oh my gosh.
I was able to get my banners and tablecloths, so things I reuse. Every time I pull it out, I can say Kevin Bacon bought this.
Kevin Bacon bought this for me.
I know. But it was just an amazing experience. It did not hit me until later on. Like, this dude is a Golden Globe winner.
Is he as lovely as he seems like he is?
He is. And in Stir of Echoes, that's one of my favorite
There
movies.
it is. Yeah, see,
right?
much better movie than Footloose.
No,
I'm just saying.
But when
not.
he came in, he was so small. I was like,
Small?
yes. You think of
No.
this big personality? He was just a small, casual dress.
How small?
Not as small as you.
Right about our
Not as
size.
small.
He was about my height, a little bit taller. Just like I said, when you think of a big personality and then this little humble person comes in the room,
This
it's like,
little humble person.
oh my God, that's Kevin Bacon. So yeah, that's something that I'm going to carry that for a minute.
Good for you. Thanks, Kevin Bacon.
I know. Thank you, Kevin. Give a shout out to Kevin Bacon.
I'll
and
tweet
the
him after this, too.
What is it? 3 or 6 degrees organization. That's what they call it, the 6 degrees.
Oh, very cool.
I'll tweet
Very
them.
cool.
And ask them to bring us bacon. Maybe he can come and bring bacon.
Oh. It's
then
like
do
a
the-
baconception right there.
And then do the Footloose dance.
Boom. You know what? I actually,
Producer says we're one degree closer
I actually start telling
to
people
bacon.
now that PitchFeast is like the Kevin Bacon in Indianapolis because it's so many people that have either come to PitchFeast, pitched to PitchFeast, or heard of PitchFeast.
I love it.
So
I love it.
So the partner shout out was fantastic. Can you give us some insight into some of the pitches that you've heard in the pitch feasts?
Oh, wow. We've had a lot of different pitches. So our platform is open. We don't necessarily say you have to be a certain type of company. So we've done nonprofit, for-profit, and even some social projects. And so one social project that I can just, be proud of it was the Rivoli Park project. Over in this community on the Far East Side, there was a underpass that had all this graffiti, and it was just neighborhood blight. And so the community got together and they wanted an artist to come in and paint a mural over the graffiti. And so they came and pitched in PitchFeast. They ended up winning $600, so they got enough money to get the paint. And then the artist donated his time. He painted over the mural and it's still there today. And they pitched 4 years ago. So that to me was like, yeah. We knew it wasn't going to be a business. We knew it wasn't, going to add economic development, but that neighborhood was so passionate about getting that blight taken care of. So the Rivoli Street project was one. We've had Project Purse pitch and win. More recently, we had, it says No More Shitty Teas, but I know it's called something else. And I just,
Well, I love it just for the namesake.
well, they just had a big write-up about them in the Indy Star yesterday. So yeah,
No more shitty teas.
yeah, No More Shitty
I'm gonna look that up.
I know, right?
Should we all say that? No more shitty.
It's a really cool concept because she makes these really cool shirts for women in corporate America, basically because
Oh, that aren't collared shirts.
there you go.
I saw that.
See,
And I
PitchFeast.
agree, no more shitty teas.
There you
Polo
go.
shirts.
If we
Women,
say it 4 more times.
I agree though. Women don't probably sometimes want to wear polo shirts. When's the last time you did by choice?
right. I don't even think I have a polo shirt, to be honest.
I don't either. And I didn't like them when I had to wear them in 7th grade
There you
either.
go.
So
Yeah. So
no more shitty teas.
yeah, we've had a lot of different people just kind of pitch and pitch feast and
I love it.
win or lose, they pitched. So
As a result, and with the partners that are supporting them after the event, what kind of success stories do you hear from? Rivoli is a fantastic success story. How have some of these pitches and these entrepreneurs really benefited long term from the pitch and the partner relationships?
nice. So about 87%
About?
pitch feast pitchers. I want to say 90 or 93, but I have to go look at my spreadsheet. But I'll say 87 as a safe number.
Sure.
They're all still operating. They're all
great.
still in business. There's one organization, Speak Your Story. They are a website platform that's just trying to change the voice of women around the city. And so they've grown that platform pretty big. Just had a lot of women join, have had a lot of women include their voice and tell their story. So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of amazing the work we do and the people we've worked with, because like I said, they're so non-traditional. It's kind of on the outskirts of what people are really looking for.
But you know what? It's just not about big business pitches and Shark Tank mentality.
Exactly.
It's about using these tools and using the concept to be able to give back to the community in whatever degree. You know, it's about bringing people along and say, you know what, you can do something. Here's some resources. Here's some mentoring, right? And here's some food.
And some food, right?
You know?
And you know the good thing. Excuse me. Am I done?
She's getting choked up. She's getting very emotional about this.
You made me lose my train of thought.
Yes.
We do that a lot. I'm sorry.
But goodness, go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead.
She's overclaimed.
What can we do to help you to advance this? What do you want Indianapolis to do? Because you've got an audience watching and listening.
I know, right?
So what can they do for you?
So for the most part, join us on Meetup at PitchFeast. That's where we post a lot of our information. That's where we keep our events posted. 2018, we're moving up into the Northwest Indiana area. We've been invited to work with a group up there.
Can you believe it's 2018 already? I know, right? Isn't it weird?
I know, right? Like it's almost over. So yeah, just excited about what we have happening in the future. Promotion, retweets, people coming to the event. The more people that come to PitchFeast, the more seed money we can offer to that winner. So yeah, as much as you guys can come and join us, just come to a dinner, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a very casual atmosphere. The audience votes.
And Kevin Bacon could show up at any time.
Kevin Bacon might show up, or at least you can see his tablecloth and his banner.
Branded by Bacon, right?
Purchased by Bacon.
Oh, there we go. There we go. You certainly want to track PitchFeast on their Twitter, at PitchFeast, on Facebook, PitchFeast, pitchfeast.org, as well as PitchFeast Indy on Instagram. Great branding all around.
Thank you.
Check.
Strong.
Absolutely. So what can you, final thoughts, what can you give from a word of inspiration to entrepreneurs that want to not only be able to possibly be a beneficiary of a pitch feast, but also the organizations, the individuals that want to start up their own company, because you're seeing a lot of individuals, and there's some certain guidelines that everybody needs to adhere to, right? So what kind of inspiration can you give a new entrepreneur that's really wanting to take the plunge?
I guess for the biggest thing for me is just identifying that problem you're trying to solve, and making sure that there is a market there for it. With PitchFeast, we identified a problem that minority businesses either didn't start or didn't stay around long because they just didn't have support in certain areas. And so that's what we figured. We create this platform and, just let them pitch, help them get some resources, see that the community supports them, and maybe that'll be enough motivation to get them to keep going. So I just encourage you to make sure that you are, you have a strong problem that you're trying to solve, and then just go for it. It's going to be tough. I'm 5 years in on PitchFeast, and I was about ready to throw in the towel a couple weeks ago, and I had a mentor that pimp smacked me right back into motivation. And I went home like, what was I thinking? Like he had a strong pimp hand.
I know I just met you today, but I kind of love you. I think you're wonderful.
I promise. So let me give a shout out to my mentor, John Qualls, because he pimp smacked me the other day, and I was like, yes, I'm getting it back together.
Two pimp smacks this episode, and who knows what'll happen later? We don't know.
Hey,
shitty teas and pimp smacks.
Never underestimate the power of a pimp hand.
That's the tweetable for the day.
There it is.
There you go.
I love that so much.
Kendrea, thank you so much. We certainly wish you all the luck in the world. And
you.
if there's anything that we can do for you, anybody we can send your way with the different entrepreneurs and startup businesses that we talk to, we certainly we'll want to do that for you, because you're doing a great service here for startup companies in Indiana. You're more than welcome. More than welcome. Okay. That said, we are going to go to. We are not going to
go
Pimp
to the
Slap.
Pam. You're not going to the Pam Pam.
Let's go see what
I have to go now.
Yeah. You got to get out of here. Go take care of yourself. We'll talk to you later. Thanks so much.